Right now, it feels like Sydney Sweeney is everywhere, and not in a normal way. Not like a typical celebrity who has one big project and then fades for a while. No, this is different. Every time you open your phone, she's there. A new scene going viral, a new interview clip trending, a new movie announcement, another brand campaign. It almost feels like her rise isn't just happening, it's being pushed at full speed. And that's exactly why people have started paying closer attention. Because when someone becomes this visible, this fast, and this consistently, people don't just celebrate it, they start questioning it. Not necessarily in a negative way, but in a curious way. Like, how does someone go from being relatively unknown to completely unavoidable in such a short time? But here's the part most people miss. Sydney Sweeney didn't just appear out of nowhere. Long before Euphoria made her a global name, she was already putting in years of work behind the scenes. Small roles, minor appearances, projects that didn't get much attention. The kind of grind that usually goes unnoticed because there's no viral moment attached to it, no overnight success story, just consistency. And what makes her journey different is how calculated it always was. She's talked about this before, how she didn't approach acting like a random dream. She approached it like a business. There's a story about how she created an actual presentation for her parents, breaking down how she was going to make this career work. Not just emotionally, but practically. Timelines, goals, structure, that's not something you expect from someone just starting out. That mindset changes everything, because when you look at her career now, it doesn't feel accidental. It feels like something that's been building for a long time, even if people only started noticing it recently. Then came Euphoria, and that's when everything shifted. The show itself was already controversial, already trending, already pushing boundaries. But her character, Cassie, became something people couldn't ignore. Not because she was perfect, but because she wasn't. She was emotional, messy, insecure, sometimes even difficult to watch. And that's exactly what made her feel real. Sydney didn't play Cassie in a safe way. She leaned into every uncomfortable moment. Every breakdown felt raw, almost too real at times. And that kind of performance sticks with people. It's not just something you watch and forget. It's something that keeps showing up in conversations, in clips, in debates. And just like that, everything changed. Suddenly, she wasn't just another actress trying to get noticed. She was the one people were talking about. But attention comes with a trade-off. Because the moment people start paying attention to you, they also start forming opinions about you. And with Sydney, those opinions split almost immediately. Some people saw her as incredibly talented, someone who brought depth and realism to her roles. Others started questioning the kind of roles she was getting and why those specific roles were the ones gaining so much attention. And that's when the conversation started shifting from admiration to analysis. After Euphoria, her career didn't slow down, it accelerated. Projects like The Voyeurs kept her in that intense, provocative space, while Anyone But You showed a completely different, more commercial side of her. On paper, it looked like range. And to be fair, it was. But it also kept her constantly in the spotlight. And when someone is constantly visible, people start asking a different kind of question. Not, is she talented? But why is she everywhere? Because Hollywood has a pattern. When it decides to push someone, it pushes hard. And audiences have seen that before. Sometimes it works, sometimes it backfires. So naturally, people started wondering, was Sydney Sweeney just making the right choices at the right time, or was there something bigger happening behind the scenes? What makes this more interesting is how she responded to all of it. She didn't stay quiet. In interviews, she addressed the criticism directly. She talked about being underestimated, about people reducing her to the characters she plays, about how frustrating it is to have your work simplified into a single narrative. And that's where another layer of her story becomes clear. Because she's not just acting, she's producing. She's involved in the process in a way that gives her more control over her career. That's not common, especially not this early. Most actors spend years just trying to get roles. She's already shaping them. And once you realize that, her career starts to look very different. Now, it's not just about what roles she's getting, it's about what roles she's choosing to create. But even with that control, the spotlight hasn't gotten easier. At one point, something as simple as family photos turned into a full internet controversy. People started analyzing details, making assumptions, building narratives out of almost nothing. And suddenly, she was trending for reasons that had nothing to do with her work. That's the reality of being this visible. You don't just get attention, you get scrutiny. And what's interesting is how she handled it. Most celebrities, when faced with that kind of situation, step back. They go quiet, let the conversation die down, and then slowly return. Sydney didn't do that. She stayed active. More appearances, more roles, more interviews. Instead of pulling away from the spotlight, she moved further into it. And somehow, that worked. Because instead of the attention fading, it grew. The more people talked about her, the more relevant she became. Brand deals started stacking up. Studios kept casting her. Her name started carrying weight in a way that goes beyond just acting. And now, she's reached a point where she's no longer on the rise. She's already there. But here's where things get even more interesting. The conversation hasn't stopped. If anything, it's evolved. Because now the question isn't who she is, it's what happens next. Can this level of attention actually last? Or is this just another phase in Hollywood's cycle of building and replacing stars? Because that cycle is real. It happens all the time. Someone rises quickly, dominates the spotlight, and then suddenly, the attention shifts to someone new. The difference is whether the person at the center of it understands how to stay relevant. And when you look at Sydney Sweeney's career so far, it doesn't feel random. The choices, the timing, the positioning, it all feels intentional. Whether that's strategy, instinct, or a combination of both, it's clearly working. Because no matter what people think about her, whether they support her, criticize her, or question her, they're all doing the same thing. They're paying attention. And in an industry where attention is everything, that might be the most important advantage of all. Right now, Sydney Sweeney has that advantage. The spotlight is on her, the momentum is on her side, and the conversation isn't slowing down anytime soon. The only real question left is whether this is the peak or just the beginning of something even bigger.